Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Catfish on Demand. I'm your host, Mr. Bankpole Joe. And this channel, what we're going to show you today is the top 3 catfish rigs for beginners. So if you want to see that, watch this video now. Peace. Okay guys, the first rig you need to learn if you're trying to learn how to catfish or catch catfish. The best way to catch catfish, the first rig you need to learn is the Carolina aka slip sinker rig. Okay, your Carolina rig aka slip sinker rig, this is how it is tied. You have your main line, which is the main line you're using. The test of your line, roughly about 50-pound test. You have your barrel swivel or no roll flat. It's a flat swivel. You have 2 beads, and in between those 2 beads you have a swivel. And then you have your leader line. And I said that's a swivel. That's actually a sinker, guys. No roll sinker or barrel sinker, but this is actually your leader line, which should be a bit stronger than what your main line is. So if your main line's 50-pound test, then maybe make this, I don't know, 100-pound test, or vice versa. Actually make this the stronger side and make this the weaker one, so when you break off, you still can keep your sinker, and all you lose is leader. You can use your choice or style of hook, which is circle or J hook. Snell your knots. Those are the best knots that I believe to hold on to your hooks with. So we'll show you what a Carolina rig looks like. Okay guys, here's a live example of a Carolina rig aka slip sinker rig. You have what this would be is I made it orange so you can see it, make it bright. This would be your main line. You put a bead, you can put a bead behind it. Your sinker, your no roll sinker or your flat or your barrel sinker, you got another bead in front of it. Then it goes to your swivel, and then you have your leader line, which is attached to an 8/0 rip and lip circle hook that has a snell knot at the end. That, my friend, is how you make your Carolina aka slip sinker rig. Now to move on to your next rig. Now rig number 2 is your Kentucky aka drop shot rig, where you have a bank sinker at the end of your line, and up from that bank sinker about 2 feet from that line, you tie off your line into a loop, and then to that loop you attach an actual swivel and a hook to that loop, and then you can actually put that into a 3-way swivel also, and that's when you're using the drop shot rig. So check it out. Okay, the Kentucky aka drop shot rig, you have your main line, and down to that main line you can tie a knot, which you use the extra string or extra line, and you attach a hook to that line. That is about 2 feet from the bottom of it or the end of your line, and at the end of your line you got a 3-ounce bank sinker or a ball sinker or a diamond sinker, whatever you so choose. Or if you're not keen on tying this knot here in the middle, you can also use a 3-way swivel. So you're tying the knot onto that loop. You're tying the leader line with your sinker to the bottom loop. Those 2 loops should be straight in line. You'll see it when you use your 3-way sinker, 3-way swivel, I'm sorry. And then your other loop, you'll tie your actual leader to your circle hook or J hook, and you're fishing that off the bottom. That is a good way to fish your dough baits off the bottom, or keep your live baits off the bottom. And you can also put a peg float in between there and use that sort of as like a Santee Cooper rig. So this is another version of it, and like a dragging rig. So when you're drifting, when you're drift fishing, a lot of people like to use this style for drift fishing in a boat. So check it out. Now I'm going to show you a live version of this. I don't know how well you can see that, but I'm using that red Raging Cajun string on here. But you see sinkers at the bottom of the line. What I did is I pinched off the line, and then I did one of those tying motions on the line, just one little knot, actually 2 knots. And I attached my hook of choice. In this case, it is a bait saver hook because I'm going to be using this for dough bait. So, and then my main line, the main line to the fishing pole goes along right here. So that right there is a Kentucky rig, aka drop shot rig. Let's move on to the next rig. Okay, the third and final rig is the Santee Cooper rig. And we'll take a look at what this looks like. Okay, on your Santee Cooper rig, you have what is your main line. You have a bead on either side to barrel swivel. That is a barrel sinker, or you can use a no-roll sinker. It will work the same. Then you have your leader line. You attach your peg float or demon dragon to this peg line, to this line right here. That will keep your bait up afloat, up off the bottom. The Carolina rig is the only rig not guaranteed to keep your bait off the bottom. The only time it's not going to be on the bottom is if you're fishing in current, like in a river where the current's strong and you're casting downstream. That strong current should have your have your bait, either your cut bait or your live bait, swinging in the current. So there's a good chance it may not be on the bottom, but there's a good chance it can just be laying on the bottom. So the better parts of these rigs are the Santee Cooper rig and the Kentucky rig, because those rigs are also made to keep your baits off the bottom. That's why the other version of the Santee Cooper rig is where you do the Kentucky rig and you add the peg float to that. That is what people use for drifting and dragging. Alright guys, here's an example, great example of a Santee Cooper rig. Got a 6-ounce flat no-roll sinker. I got a bead in between that and the swivel. I snell knotted this end of the leader. The leader goes all the way down. This is what you call a peg float. Also, you can also buy yourself a demon dragon. If you're interested in that, check out Dieter Melhorn. He does talk a little bit in depth about a demon dragon. It actually has a rattle inside of the float, and that line comes out the other end of that float all the way to a snell knot on the end of an 8/0 rip and lip circle hook. And that, my friend, is how you make a Santee Cooper rig. And this is your favorite host, Mr. Bankpole Joe. You're watching Catfish on Demand, and this is the top 3 catfish rigs for beginners. You guys have a blessed night, have a blessed evening, and adios. Peace.